Hello, my name is Michael Davis. Welcome to the first how-to video of my short design tutorial series on responsive web design. In this tutorial I am going to be running through how to set up the file structure for your website. I should just say at this point, if you are familiar with all this, if you've done web design before, then you might as well just skip over this video. I'm not going to be covering anything other than setting up the file structure in this video. Okay. So websites are made of files. Normally it's one file per page, so we need to set up how the files are going to be arranged and also what sort of files you're going to need on your website. So firstly I'm going to make a folder. You can put it anywhere on your computer. This is going to be the local folder for your website, and you can call this anything. I'm just going to call it my site, and I'm going to save it on my desktop. Now you'll see I'm using Dreamweaver. I've covered this in my second introduction where I talked about the software that I'll be using, but if you're not using Dreamweaver, that's fine. You should still be able to follow things here. So what I'm going to do is go up to site and go to new site, and you'll see this dialog box comes up, and you've got the site name and the local site folder to fill in. So you can call your site anything, it doesn't really matter at this point. I'm going to call this tutorial website, and the local site folder is, if you remember the folder that we just created, I created mine on your desktop, but it could be anywhere. So you can browse to that with this little button here, and once you've selected that, just click choose and then save, and that's all you'll need for now. I'm going to be setting Dreamweaver up so that I can upload files directly to the server to test them, and I'm not going to do a video tutorial on this simply because I've just done a blog post about it over on the blog. So if you want to go and check that out, I mean, it's quite simple to follow, and if you have a server and you're ready to start testing websites as we go, it'd be really useful if you could check that out and maybe carry it out for yourself, but I'm not going to do a video on it. So following that, you'll see in the main Dreamweaver layout, you'll see the files panel is now displaying the folder structure for tutorial website, but there is nothing in there yet, so you will not see anything. If you've not got the files panel, just go up to Window at the top of Dreamweaver and click on the files, make sure that's ticked, and that should appear somewhere. It look like this on this down here in the right, and that should have the title of your website. So we want to create our first file because that's going to be the home page for our website. So I'm going to right click and click new file. Alternatively, if you don't want to do that, you can just click create new in the Dreamweaver welcome screen if that comes up for you, and click new HTML file. What you want to do is save that in my site, or the whatever you call your site, as index.html. It's very important that it's called index because this is going to be the first page that appears when someone types in the URL to get to your website. The reason we call it index because that is the file that the browser will display first when it gets to your folder directory on your server. Now you'll see in Dreamweaver we just have a blank page, and this is where we're going to be designing our website, but I'll cover that in the next video. And what you can do now is simply create a new file, and any further HTML document that you create after this, you can call it whatever you like. So I've just created a new one, and I'm going to save it next to index in my folder directory as about, because this is going to be my about page. One other thing you might want to do at this point is create a style document for your website. I'll explain this further as we go, but you might just want to create it now and get it done. You can do this by clicking create new in Dreamweaver, and we want to create a blank CSS document, and we'll create that, and we can just save that as style.css. So you'll see that all these files and things that we've been creating now are showing up in the files panel on Dreamweaver in the bottom right for me under the site tutorial website, which I've named my site. And the last thing we want to do now is create a folder where we're going to keep all the images that go on our website. So if you right click on the folder at the top on the files panel and click new folder, just call this images, it doesn't really matter what you call it. But this is where we're going to store all the images that we use on the website. So at this point, this is all you need to know about the file structure, and if you create this for yourself, you'll be ready for the next video. If you have any questions, comments or feedback, please feel free to leave them here on the video, or you can head over to the blog. There's a link below. It's www.davis-design.com/blog. It'd be great to hear from you, and I'll see you next time.